Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome if you're new here. I'm Christine. So I am getting ready to go on a little trip to the East Coast. I'm going to be in Connecticut for a conference and then to New York City to finally empty my storage unit. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I was there in the summer and now I'm going back to completely empty it. So, long story short, because I'm going to be gone, I have been going through my scissors because I thought it would be a good time to take a few pairs that have been kind of bugging me for a while that are dull. I was thinking, which pairs am I going to take? And I thought this could be really fun to have a little conversation about our favorite scissors. So, I don't have a ton of scissors, but the ones that I have for very specific reasons. So you'll have to let me know below if you have any favorites that are different than mine or the same, and how we compare with our scissor stash. So I think I'll kind of go from smallest to largest. On the very, very smallest scale, these are my little pelican or swan. Swan or stork, I guess, little clippers. I got these from my mom. I don't know that they are actually vintage, but I love them because they sit right next to my sewing machine, and I use these to clip my threads on my sewing machine, and I just love how elegant and vintagey and beautiful they are. So I love, love, love having these at my sewing machine, and they're really lightweight, and so I can kind of pick them up easily, and they're just a little clip. I have seen these available online. I'll link to, I know Minerva has them, so I'll do a little link down in the description box for these. I just love having a little touch of vintage next to my machine. The other smaller ones that I have, but I don't really use as much, are these. These are from the brand Texie, and they're kind of like a cushioned scissor. So they're very easy to open and close, but they're just a little bit clunky. So you can kind of see, I love the fineness of these and how easy it is for me to put my fingers into them. Whereas these are just a little bit more clunky because of the plastic. So I don't actually use these as much. These are great for clipping around for example, a neckline, a curved neckline, or clipping little notches because they are super, super sharp. So these are a great little pair for doing clip jobs, let's say. So love these, a little bit longer than my other clippers. Next on in size, I would say, are these ones that are not expensive at all. I got these at our local kind of the Chinese shops. So they were only a couple of dollars, but I love them, and I keep them next to or always at my ironing board. I love them because they are long enough that they are not only good for clipping thread tails, which I often end up doing at the ironing board, but they're long enough of like the knife edges that I can actually clip things that I need to. I can actually cut with these, and I do. So, for example, I don't really grade with these, but I will clip, for example, corners. If I'm sewing a right angle of something, I need to clip corners. I will use these, and I love them. They're really sharp. I also love, as compared to these ones, like why I don't have these at my ironing board is, again, kind of the ease of just of grabbing them and fitting them in my hand. Where these, I have to be a little bit more intentional to get them into my hand. So I love these, and I love having a pair of scissors at my ironing board. It's super handy. And these literally don't move from my ironing board, so I always know that they're there. Okay, before we move on to my favorite pair of scissors, I just wanted to share that I'm wearing a new vest that I just finished. This is my Great Jones pattern. It also comes in a jacket, which I'm sure you've seen me wear before. I made this one out of a silk scarf, and I actually made it reversible. And it's just like enough of a little layer here for spring weather, kind of gives me that extra layer of warmth. So I wanted to share that. I am going to do a what I've been sewing lately video here really soon. I have a couple more things to sew before I want to film that. But I'll definitely talk a little bit more in detail about this one, but I absolutely am loving it. Okay, my very favorite pairs of scissors is evident because I have not one, not two, but three pairs of the exact same scissors, different brands and different colors and such. But these are my absolute favorite scissors. So I have a full video on the channel where I talk about grading, grading, if you don't know, it's like where you trim your seam allowances at different lengths in order to reduce the bulk. And these scissors are the very, very best for grading because this duckbill edge holds the layer of fabric that is underneath. It holds it away, and so it's harder to end up accidentally cutting the underlayer by mistake. I also love these for example, I recently made a t-shirt with some crocheted doilies down the sleeve, and I cut away the fabric from behind using these scissors as well because they hold two layers of fabric separate enough that it reduces the chance of you accidentally clipping. I also use this for all French sewing, any lace insets or lace work that I do. I love, love, love these scissors. So this is a pair that my mom actually got me for my birthday a couple years ago. The brand is French European. We got them at Sew Expo, and I love them because they're this, such a cool kind of carbon black color. I love, love, love these ones. These are I don't know, a no-name brand that I got locally, not expensive at all. Or no, I think I might have gotten these from Minerva.com. They're not super good quality. I don't know what brand they are. They have a V. I think they were like maybe $6, something like that. So sometimes I'll use these. These ones cut a little bit better. I know it's so strange. They cut kind of on this part. So sometimes I'll use these for the start, and then I'll switch to these. I know it's a little weird. And then I have a Ginger pair that I borrowed from my mom. She has many pairs as well. So I took these Ginger, which are really nice quality as well. So yeah, these are my three. I use them, kind of intuitively for different scenarios. But if you don't have a pair of these, this is one thing that I would definitely recommend investing in, especially if you sew clothes and you do any kind of grading or any kind of delicate lace work. You will love, love, love having these scissors. So let me know below, do you have these yet? Or if not, definitely I recommend getting a pair. Okay, next up on terms of size, let's just talk about rotary cutters. So I'm kind of hot and cold on my rotary cutters. I just I have problems with the blades right now. So I haven't really been using my rotary cutters as much as I do sometimes, but I have a new full, very large sized rotary mat that I took home from my last trip to the US, where my mom gave me these two large mats. I'm looking at them down here on my table. And so I need to figure out my blade situation. But I have two different rotary cutters. This one I think is more traditional without the blade protection. You kind of move the cover out like that and then down. Sometimes this one behaves a little bit better. Now I can't get it back. Behaves a little bit better, but then I also have this one that is a little bit more of a comfortable grip. But you do have to press down on this little lever in order to do it. And so it's kind of annoying that you have to hold it down and cut. So it's a little bit of, your finger gets tired after a while. So I'm a little hot and cold with the rotary cutters, like I said. It might be time that I just maybe invest in a new one. Maybe that's part of my problem. But I just always find that I have every twist of the blade, there's like a little thread that's missed, and then you have to go back and either recut it with the rotary cutter, which sometimes then I make a mistake, or I just have to go back and cut it with scissors anyways. And then I'm like, why didn't I just cut this with scissors? So do you have the same problem? I cannot be the only one. Please tell me. But I do have 2 rotary cutters in my stash. Okay, next up in terms of size are my just really classic Ginger shears. So when I first moved to Spain without my sewing machine, without any of my gear, I had to buy a few things. I bought a sewing machine and I bought a pair of scissors. And this was the only pair of scissors I had. And so if you're just starting sewing, or maybe you're interested in sewing and you're watching this, thinking about sewing, if I were to buy and only have 1 pair of scissors in my arsenal, it would be a pair of scissors like this. So this is, let me measure, these are about a 4-inch blade, so about 4 inches from here to here. So they're not super large, but they're also not very small. So they're great for actually cutting out your project. You could definitely use these at the side of your sewing machine to do clipping threads as well. There's no reason why you couldn't. They're just a little bit bulky. But if you are just starting and you only have 1 pair of scissors, this is, in my opinion, the all-around perfect scissor that will do everything you need it to do. So I love these gingers. When I'm not using my rotary cutter to cut out my projects, these are what I'm using. They are just a really good classic shear. I think if I had a wish list, I would probably get another pair that's a little bit longer. That would be something I would love to have. But this is a pair that I'm taking to the sharpener to make sure that they stay nice and sharp. And just because I use them so much. They're so comfortable, so classic, a really good quality. Ginger is the brand, so a really good quality brand. And I really love these shears. And another pair of shears that I kind of alternate with are these ones. These are also a Texie. So these two came in a set together. So they're both that nice cushion grip. And I love these shears. These are really, really lightweight and comfortable to cut. So I'll alternate between the Gingers and the Texies, just kind of depending on really like the weight of my fabric. These are really nice for heavier weight fabric, whereas these, for example, this silk that I cut a scarf works really, really beautifully with lightweight fabrics. So these are titanium, which I think is a newer type of material that I've been seeing in some scissors. So the titanium, I think, makes them really lightweight. And yeah, I really love these as well. A good like plastic grip as opposed to the all metal. Kind of interesting. I think, yeah, they're very comfortable, although my Gingers are very comfortable as well. So I think it's just a matter of preference. Okay, and the largest pair of scissors I have has a little pink ribbon on it that I just have recently put on because I was accidentally using these to cut out a paper pattern, which are these paper scissors. So these are my paper scissors. These go in a totally different drawer than all of my other scissors and are just really used for cutting my paper patterns. Okay, last but not least, this isn't really a scissor, but I wanted to include it because it's something that I've been finding really useful. Is this, I think it's supposed to be a seam ripper. See, it just has this little like razor blade on it. And I think it is technically a seam ripper. This is also from Texie. It's a European brand. I use this actually for cutting open buttonholes, just slicing them. It works so nicely. So this, it's just, I mean, it's such a simple little blade. It has this little cover. So although it's not technically a scissor, I have found this so useful for buttonholes. And it's surprisingly, even though it kind of looks a little bit scary with the edge there kind of out in the open, it is easy to control. Like I never cut through my buttonholes with it. It's really surprisingly really easy to control. So I love this. So kind of a weird one, an outlier out of our scissors. So as far as storing my scissors, I have them all in one drawer. I have actually in my drawers here behind me, I've built out drawer organizers inside of them. And I have a YouTube video walking through exactly how I did it. And so that way each scissor, each grouping of scissors, the ones that don't either stay by my ironing board or by my sewing machine, they all are safe and sound in their specific little place. And that way I also always know where I can find them, grab them, and know that they're stored securely in my drawer. Okay, so you definitely have to tell me what scissors you have. If you have any others that I didn't cover, definitely please share. And I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was fun to kind of peruse some scissors. I'm really excited to drop off a few at the local sharpener guy. I've never had scissors sharpened before, so this will be kind of an interesting experience to see how it goes. I'll keep you posted, and thank you so much for watching. And hit the subscribe button if you're not already subscribed. We're almost to 16,000 subscribers. I'm so excited for that. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.